So hello everyone. So in the last video, I showed you how to download the data of a single company or a particular company of your choice. So in this video, I'll try to explain how to download data for multiple companies for your research. So before you download the data for a multiple company, first thing is you need to select your sample of companies. So which country you want to take it as your sample. It could be like all Norwegian publicly listed companies, or it could be all Nordic companies, or it could be all US companies, or it could be all companies in Europe. So for sample selection, you need to be careful about the key information and what is your inclusion and exclusion criteria. So now for this like example purpose, I'll just bring it to this LSEG workspace. So here what you need to do actually, so you just go in the very beginning and then here you type screener. So when you type screener, so then the screen will gonna appear, am I right? So here you can see the screen is here. Now it will take a bit time. So now what we are going to do, we'll just, select a new screen. So for example, if you want to download the data for S&P 500 or like, stock 600 or all the Norwegian companies. So for that, you can just, select the indices from here. So if you click on the edit option and then click on the list, then you have this whole dialog box. So here you need to click on this all portfolios and list. So here I click all portfolio and list available in LSEG, and then here you can just type S&P 500 or stock 600. So the index will gonna appear. I mean, the list of companies will gonna appear here for you. It's taking a bit time. Just select available list from here. Okay, so maybe I'll just go with this one, Starman USL large values. So I just select this. So here you can see we have 64 companies, and then we click OK. And also click OK here. Now we see the list of companies are already here. Am I right? So here you have like 64 companies, or we can say firm. Now for this is our sample companies. We want to like, include this for our research. Now for research, we need to be careful, in the list of companies, we normally exclude the financials. So for your research, you need to see whether you have any financial companies here or not. So for that, you can do what you can just, include the industry name or industry classification. So here is the most popular one, like it's called GICS industry name. So I have added this. Okay. So here I see all the industries. So I'll select all and except the financials. So I have selected all, and then I like just remove this financial. So I had 64 companies, and then out of 64, I exclude the financials, and then I click done. Then you can see down now, so you don't have any financial companies out of 64, so all the 64 company we can do. So now we have this information about the companies under which industry. Now the next thing is that you need to add the codes. I mean, like, each company, they have their name, but they have their unique code. This is called ISIN code. So this will be useful for you if you want to add back any other variable later on. So for that, what you need to do, you can see here a column, add column. So here you click on this column, and then in the dialog box type ISIN. So you can see this ISIN. So click add and then click OK. So when you click add, you click OK, you can see all the eyes and cursor here. Now our sample is pretty fixed. So we have 64 companies, for instance, and then we exclude the financials, and then actually we don't have any financials. That's why this is our final sample size. Now you have 64 companies. Now, for instance, I want to look at whether ESG performance of companies have any impact on company profitability. So, so ESG performance have any impact on company financial performance, for example, and then we want to look only for 2024. So we'll look into ESG performance of 2024 of 64 companies with financial performance could be ROA, that means return on asset, and or it could be ROE, return on equity. So now everything is done. You have the sum. Now, if you need to collect any data for the particular variable, so what you need to do, you need to use this dialog box. So here you see this option, launch data library. So click on that. So our independent variable is like ESG. So we'll type ESG. So if you type ESG and press enter, you see your ESG data is already here. So you have a lot of ESG. So we'll just get this ESG score. So if you click on that ESG score, you can see the definition of this particular variable. So what is the definition? So ESG score is an overall company score based on the self-reported information in the environmental, social, and governance pillars. That means it's the self-reported information from the company. Now we choose 2024, am I right, as the financial year. So you can see here like a 0. So what you need to do, just click here and then delete the 0, and then you want 2024. So just type 2024. So if you type 2024 and then click OK, then you can see that ESG score for 2024 will gonna appear. Am I right? So here we have some like value like they call NA, that means not available. So the data is missing for this particular company. So it's not a problem. It's like common. Now we are done with this ESG as our independent variable. Now next thing you want to see whether it impact financial performance in companies. Now for the financial performance of the company, there are different proxies. It could be ROA, return on asset, ROE, return on equity, and then also the Tobin skew or market value ratio. So let's collect this ROA. So you type ROA, return on asset. So you can see the ROA value will be here. So return on asset. So if you go down, so we'll just select our return on asset actual one. So we'll select the actual ROA of companies. So here again, you need to delete the 0 and put 2024. Press OK. So you have this ROA. Now next, you need to find the ROE as well, or ROE. So ROE. So I type ROE, return on equity. Click here, type 2024. Again, done. Okay, now, so we want to do the cross-sectional study. That means multiple companies and only seeing real data. So here we have 64 companies and the data for 2024 for each variable. So for ESG, we have 2024. For ROA, we have 2024, and then ROE for 2024. Now, in research, you need to add some other control variables. It could be firm-specific control variable, or it could be board-specific control variable, country-specific control variable. So now, one popular like control is like leverage ratio. You can type leverage. Okay. So leverage ratio, or you can still type debt to equity. It's easier. Debt to equity. So we type debt to equity here. So total debt percent of total equity. For 2024, we click here. Then okay, that's good. Now you can add. We need to control for farm size. So for farm size, the popular proxy is like total asset of companies. So we type total assets. So we can see total asset actual, and then we get it for 2024. Done. Next thing is like you can control the liquidity. So for liquidity, the popular ratio is like current ratio or like quick ratio. So I just type current ratio. Okay. So you can see the current ratios here already. Click on that, type 2024 and press OK. So now, so for your research, your sample is like 64 companies, index in S&P large values, like large value. And then you want to see whether ESG performance have any impact on company profitability. That means ROA and ROE. So for ESG, we get the ESG score. For dependent variable of financial performance or profitability, we got ROA and ROE. And you also include three control variable. So you can include as much as you want as a control based on prior literature or like based on the logic of your study. Now this is actually a cross-sectional data. Now when you are done with this, so what you need to do, you need to download the data. So just come here. There's two options. One is export all as values or export all as formulas. So we'll export all as values. So if you click on that, so within one click, so you have a very organized data. So you have the identifier, company name, industry name, and then ISIN code. If you want to cut the data later on, then you have this ESG score, then ROA, ROE, debt to equity ratio, total asset, and then current ratio. So this is for your cross-sectional. So now, if you want to do the panel data, so then what change will gonna occur? So here, for each variable, you need to collect the data for multiple years. So it could be 2, 3, 4, or 5. It up to you. So for each variable, you need to collect 5 years data at a row. So this will gonna I'll explain the next video. So thanks for watching.